Hello everyone, my name's Lydia. I go by Lydia the Virgo on my Bookstagram account, and I decided, it was a while ago now actually, that I wanted to make a YouTube channel, a kind of extension of my Bookstagram account, because I felt quite limited by the kind of very short word count that an Instagram caption allows for, and I thought that YouTube would be a nice format to let me sort of just rant and ramble on about books that I've been reading and thoughts that I had. So here I am. I want to apologise for any sort of initial awkwardness or lighting problems. I know these blinds are kind of doing their business. Yeah, it's just a learning curve, a work in progress. So today I am going to be talking about Sally Rooney, um, with particular emphasis on her new novel Beautiful World, Where Are You?, which came out at the start of September, but potential general analysis of, or comment on anyway, her previous two novels, Conversations with Friends and Normal People, and I want to talk about Sally Rooney as a Marxist author, because this is something that I find extremely interesting about Sally Rooney's work. And I find it very interesting because people often kind of either just throw about that she's a Marxist author, or they kind of counter the fact that she's a Marxist author by saying, how can she be a Marxist author? She simply just writes about these middle class, university educated white people. She includes like token working class characters to bring up some kind of potential plot tension, but everything seems to like ease itself out in the end, and no real points about class are brought up. This is some things that I've seen said, or people saying, for example, that the character Felix in Beautiful World, that his only character trait is the fact that he has this job, working in a warehouse. And I think surface readings of Rooney's novel, I totally agree. When I first read Normal People and I saw people talk about it as a Marxist novel, and I felt very much like, is it? Because like I said, there's definitely like between the characters, it's definitely more of like a tension rather than a conflict. And often I felt like the only times that anything like communism or socialism, Marxism, whatever, was brought up was during any sort of intellectual, definitely like the email, text message discussions, which is definitely an expanded feature of this book. I want to comment on that quickly because I think Rooney's really sort of using this. Each chapter is interspersed by an email between the two main female characters, the friends, Alice and Eileen. I think Sally is using it as a way to dip her toes into non-fiction and like theory, and like praxis in theory, which I think is very interesting. But I think the actual tensions between the characters, like this is not where the Marxist communist element of Rooney's writing comes in, and this comes from the main focus, I suppose, of communism in the novel comes from the relationships themselves. the essential core feature of neoliberal capitalism, capitalism generally, but particularly neoliberal capitalism, is this emphasis on individuality. I mean, look at Thatcher, what Thatcherism was all about, which was making people individually accountable for their actions, retrenching the welfare state and making it people's personal responsibility um, for themselves. And this definitely develops into lots of areas and lots of different facets of our lives. It becomes something that we see ourselves as complete individuals. No one else can help us. We can't rely on other people. Other people are competitions, whether that's for jobs or houses or relationship. You see it in the way that we view for example, minorities, migrants, things like that. This threat that there's a finite amount of resources and people are coming to steal them from you. Um, and I've just got some notes here, that's why I might be looking down. Um, and yeah, we end up creating this culture, and it's very purposefully done. This culture that relies on us to pay for services, which we could have and we previously have had for free. And I'm not saying there were inherent exploitations in these things, but that we could have for free, let me say, in sort of mutually beneficial, caring kind of communities. Um, and I think the way that Sally Rooney really emphasises the fact that we need other people, we need community, we need partnerships, we need relationships, whether they be romantic or platonic or whatever. We need familial, we need relationships, and we need other people to survive. Um, and this is a deeply radical notion under capitalism. It's so threatening. Relationships, our interpersonal relationships with others, is a radical notion under capitalism. Capitalism needs you isolated and alone. I mean, there's an argument for the importance of social reproduction and etc etc etc, but social reproduction, this is why I'm focusing specifically on neoliberal capitalism, is that social reproduction is increasingly being done by privatized companies. You're outsourcing that reproduction as more and more women enter the workforce. You outsource that reproduction to paid services. And yeah, I think this is what Sally Rooney shows and explores so perfectly, is this extremely radical notion of relationships and the place that they hold in establishing a kind of revolutionary Marxist culture. Relationships show us behaviours and patterns of behaviours and ways of behaving that are actually shunned by capital growth, because there's no profit to be extracted from them in these interpersonal private relationships, because in this domestic sphere they aren't commodified. They can be commodified in the private and in the outside world, but they can't be commercialized within relationships. And this is why relationships are so radical and so threatening, and that's where I think the Marxism of Sally Rooney really shines through. One thing that really, when reflecting on specifically normal people, I remember people saying about how Marianne and Connell's relationship is so unhealthy, they're so dependent on one another. And when I started when I started reading more and more Marxist theory or sort of anti-capitalist theory, theories about social reproduction, all sorts of things like this, I began to realise. I mean, I thought people calling it unhealthy was very much of a stretch. Well, people calling it toxic especially. I thought if you want to say unhealthy maybe, but I don't think it ever was unhealthy. It was just miscommunication, which was normal human error. But yeah, I think that people referring to it as unhealthy after reading all this stuff, I thought was like, yeah, we've definitely been indoctrinated by capitalism, is what I'm trying to say. And the notion that you could actually need somebody else and be dependent on somebody else seems so like foreign and almost like weak towards us. And in fact, it's one of the biggest strengths that we have as people. Um, just generally, I mean, the fact that we need and want other people and we need companionship and love and care, like, is so beautiful. But it also provides a mold for a really radical new society in which we do care about each other and we look after one another, not because we can make a profit from something, not because something has monetary value, but because we actually care about other people. Mm-hmm. I really love Sally Rooney, really love Beautiful World, Where Are You? Love all of Sally Rooney's books. If you're interested to read my review on my Instagram account, I've linked my Instagram account below. You can also see reviews for Conversations with Friends and Normal People, and I'm going to put a link to my blog below as well, where I have reviews of the Conversations with Friends and Normal People. Haven't done a full written review of Beautiful World, Where Are You? I am not sure if I'm going to yet or not, or whether it will just be this video. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on that one, and if you follow my Instagram you'll definitely find out ASAP. So yeah, I want to say thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.